All right. Looks like we are good to go. So let us begin. Hello, everyone. Good day to you all, and happy Friday. Thank you for joining me for another Rubik Weekly AMA. I am your host, Colin O'Brien, and I am delighted to be here today to discuss recent developments for Rubik, as well as interview a new guest. As has been the case for the last few weeks, I'm hosting this weekly AMA via audio on our Twitter Spaces and also via video on our official Rubik Telegram channel. Being an AMA, I'll do my best to answer as many of your questions as I can. If I don't have an answer for you, I'll consult with the rest of the team so I can try to get you an answer. I would like to remind our listeners to please DM me or tag me with your questions throughout the week. Makes it easier for me to consolidate your questions in advance and seek answers to some of the more difficult questions. This week, I'm pleased to announce we have a new guest. Today, we're joined by Maxim Ermolov, Overnight co-founder and CEO. But before we jump into an interview and follow up with an AMA, we're first going to go over our weekly report, and then we'll have a chat with Maxim. Don't forget there is a $50 BRBC giveaway for anyone who asks questions during today's AMA. Also, Maxim will be announcing a winner on their Twitter AMA giveaway as well. So if you are interested in lending your voice to this podcast and are feeling up to asking us a question live, you're more than welcome to click the microphone icon in the bottom left corner of the Twitter Spaces UI, and I'll call on you to ask a question. The same goes for Telegram. Just click the raise your hand icon. But as always, please feel free to ask your questions via text in our Telegram channel, and I will do my best to answer them as best I can. All right, with that said, let's jump into our weekly report. So for development side of things, our LP, our liquidity provision. This week, we announced the launch date of our liquidity provision program, April 27th. Check the timing on that. You can get up to a 27% APR. That's an estimate just based off of network performance and things like that. You can learn more about our LP program. There is a link in the weekly update report to a Medium article we put out. All things LP related, you guys can find there. We also have Telos integration coming soon. So we will be completing our integration of Telos into our multi-chain protocol on April 25th. So this coming Monday, Telos will be fully integrated into our multi-chain ecosystem, and you will be able to swap tokens to and from Telos between 11 other blockchain networks. So that brings us up to a dozen networks in total in the Rubik ecosystem. Now, the cool thing about Telos, it is a community-driven network that powers the fastest EVM in the world. The Telos EVM offers 0.5 second block times, is highly scalable with up to 10,000 plus transactions per second, and it has low fixed costs for transactions that are in the pennies, and it also prevents any type of front-running bot attacks, so you won't get sandwiched or anything like that when making trades on their network. Now, the Telos protocol is based on a delegated proof-of-stake consensus mechanism. It supports EO-SIO compatibility and EVM compatibility as well. Moreover, the Telos protocol is community governed. They have their own governance engine, and their community decides on everything from proposals to their board. Also, it is a eco-friendly blockchain, and it consumes less than 0.0004 terawatts per hour, lower than any other major competitor. Currently, they have $7 million in daily trading volume, and they have over $123 million total value locked on their network. We are happy to introduce Telos to the rest of our ecosystem, and we hope that by being a part of Rubik's multi-chain protocol, it will help drive more value and more users to their network. All right, as far as the developments go for our protocol itself, this week we launched a new statistics page. So you guys can go check that out. It has everything from our TVL to the number of supported assets, total users, and our multi-chain volume across all the different blockchains that are in our network. Super cool. It's a awesome looking UI for it as well. So we're very happy to bring that to the rest of our users and our community. Moreover, we also finished working on stablecoin pools for all swaps on the Near protocols. So it is now even further improved, and we are happy to be able to bring that to all of our Near users out there. All right, that basically does it for development announcements for the week. We'll have more to share with you guys very soon. We've got some really cool things coming up. Very, very excited to share them with you, but some of those are going to have to wait till next week. So moving on to the marketing side of things, I want to remind everybody this is your last chance to get into the whitelist for our Liquidity Provision Program. We're raffling away 10 spots for our Liquidity Provision Program, and winners will have a guarantee allocation of up to 800 USDC in liquidity pools in the first round of this program. There are links to the way to get whitelisted right there in the weekly update report, so make sure you guys check that out. Earlier this week, I did an AMA in Near's Telegram channel, so you guys can check that out. We'll go ahead and post some screenshots and things like that for you as well. I would also like to mention that Crypto News Today made a full-length review video of Rubik. He explained what we do, all the different features that we provide, and it was a really beaming review, so we want to thank him very much for that. You can see a link to the video in the weekly update report. Throughout the last week, we also re-emphasized focus on our Discord channel. So our marketing team updated the design and the functionality of the Discord utility bots that are there. And we also reimagined the workflow of the support that we provide in Discord. And we also added a special channel for memes. And a little extra tip for you guys, if you reach the 15th level on our Discord server, you'll get access to extra channels. This week as well, we were highlighted by Certic as having one of the highest security scores for having a low market cap. So we'd like to thank Certic for the shout out. We were also highlighted in Moonbeam Daily as being one of the top projects to gain value over the course of the last month. So, and that's in the Moonbeam ecosystem. So thank you to Moonbeam Daily for highlighting us there. And also Dapsy.io, it's Dapsy on Twitter, gave us a shout as well for our liquidity provision program. And there is a screenshot of that tweet. So thank you to them as well. Now, the referral program has 3,400 plus individual referral links so far. It has been a smashing success. A number of people in the industry are very aware of who we are and what we do now because of this program. So we'd like to thank everyone out there who is participating in this, getting the word out on Rubik to other projects around the industry to use our widget and our SDK. So thank you very much to all our community members who are participating in this program. And we would like to welcome and thank some new projects that have integrated our widget. First project I would like to thank is Baby Ether. They are a play-to-earn game with NFT and liquidity provision mechanics. Thank you to Stranger Coin. They are a decentralized financial payment network, diverting a small percentage of each transaction into a high-yield farm pool. I'd also like to thank Doge NFT Collector. They're a meme NFT marketplace and community-owned token on the BNB Smart Chain. And also Pet Wars, a free-to-play online digital collectible card game. Last but not least is Fun Token. They are a one-stop gaming token that will facilitate all forms of gaming. So I'd like to thank all of those projects for integrating our widget. And then I'd also like to congratulate Token Place for being among the projects to integrate our SDK. Token Place is an online trading platform and exchange aggregator with more than 30,000 community members. Wrapping it up here for marketing, I'd like to mention again that there is an airdrop incoming. We have an article that explains everything pertaining to that airdrop. That will be taking place on April 28th at 1500 UTC. We have an article that goes over all things Algebra Rubik airdrop related. Make sure to check that out for all the details. And then we also have our partners at MyWish, they were holding an RBC price prediction contest. Participants could get up to $50 for their most accurate forecasts of our price. The contest is almost over, so make sure to participate, and they will release the results of that next Tuesday. And then the last little thing in our weekly update report is about this AMA today, and with having our guest on from overnight. So that is basically going to do it for the weekly update report. And now let's welcome our new guest. He is the co-founder and CEO of Overnight. Please welcome Maxim Ermolov. Thank you for joining us today, Maxim. Yeah, could you please introduce yourself to all our guests today?
Yeah, my name is Maxim Ermolov. I'm the founder of Overnight, which is the protocol producing the stablecoin USD Plus. More of a traditional finance guy. I spent all my life working in institutions like JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley. I spent 17 years at BCG before across Paris, London, Singapore, and Moscow. I led financial institutions in the Eastern Europe for BCG. And then after a while, I wanted to work for myself. And I was passionate about DeFi, all the decentralized finance, and had this idea to start a yield-generating stablecoin because I thought, why do you need to stake things? Why do you need to manage your portfolio when the token in your wallet can just be generating yield without you doing anything? So that was the idea, and we started this last autumn, and this is where we are.
Nice. So you started it last autumn. Could you go into a little more detail about like how that journey began? Like what was the thing that really inspired you? What really drew you into DeFi and crypto? What pulled you away from traditional finance and made you think, hey, I want to do this. I want to create this company. How did that come about?
Yeah, so I first got into crypto and blockchain back in 2017. And I was, since then, kind of on and off, playing with various protocols and using all sorts of, crypto and investing and yield farming, and kind of actually at some point in time I realized that I was spending way too much time doing all that. When researching, I found a very interesting fact. At that point in time, roughly over 100 billion of stablecoins were in circulation. This number, I believe, is right now about 200 billion. So all the stablecoins were in circulation, and at that point in time, like only 30 billion was staked and producing yield. And I thought to myself, that means that there is 70 billion of stablecoins sitting idle somewhere, sleeping, not producing yield. And I thought that's a disaster because so much money sitting in wallets and not working. And I had this idea that and why not working? Because people, everybody wants yield, but there people were afraid to do yield farming. People were afraid to stake. People didn't have time to do the research. You are inconvenient. Many things prevented people from actually, bowing down and picking up the money lying from, on the floor. And I thought, if people, instead of USDC or USDT, had a stable coin which would be producing yield just when it's in your wallet, you don't stake, don't unstake, you just do nothing, and it's producing yield, and it's so safe and it's so secure and so centralized that you're sure that nothing happens to your money. You're so sure that you use it instead of USDC. I thought that would be amazing. And then it turns out it's something which is very easy to build. And in particular, with all sorts of level 2s and low gas stations, networks, it's actually very easy to build something like that. At that point in time, I realized that's something I had to do.
Awesome. So you've identified the problem. There's hundreds of billions of dollars of stablecoins out there that are just sitting, doing nothing when they could be being leveraged and used in other ways, and allow people to make money with their money. So how do you guys do that? Could you give us a better understanding of overnight and explain to us how you're solving that problem?
Yeah, so overnight is producing USD Plus, which is a stable coin pegged to USDC. So the way it's pegged is that you can always get mint one USD Plus with one USDC, and you can always get your USD Plus by redeeming it from you can always get your USDC by redeeming it from USD Plus with one click. So what happens inside is that when you put your USDC and mint USD Plus, the USDC you use for that is invested by the protocol across a number of very low risk, highly liquid strategies, and starts producing yield. When more people come, they mint more USDC, more money gets invested and is producing yield. Whenever you want your money back and you want to redeem USDC for USD Plus for USDC, the protocol exits from those investments and gives back the USDC. And so this is a very simple mechanism. Essentially, what USD Plus is doing, it's managing a portfolio of investments, of DeFi investments, on your behalf and doing it instead of you. And that's why you don't need to do anything. And that's why USD Plus is producing the yield.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So what kind of return, what kind of yield are you guys thinking that you'll be able to provide for investors?
Well, the most important thing is that it's USD Plus is highly secure and extremely low risk. So we've been tracking USD Plus since December in beta mode, and there was not a single day that there was a loss. So every day USD Plus is producing profit. So that's actually the most important characteristic. It's producing profit and it's distributed to holders in the form of rebase. Every day there is a profit between 2 and 3 basis points, so which essentially equates to something in the range of 8 to 12% APY. And this is essentially for risk-free investments on Polygon is top of the range. Once we launch our reward program, we will be remunerating the users and holders of USD Plus and liquidity pools, which will contain USD Plus, and we'll be targeting to provide all-in APY in the range of 20-25%, including our incentives on top.
Now, those rewards, that return that investors are receiving, are you guys paying that in USD Plus or USDC?
In USD Plus, but you can convert it to USDC at any point in time.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So, you guys, I'm coming from a finance background. You obviously know what you're doing with this in this regard, right? As far as traditional finance and the math behind it goes. I understand you guys are also part of like a Binance accelerator. Like you don't get accepted into those kinds of things by not being one of the smartest guys in the room. So is that true? You guys are in the Binance accelerator?
Yeah, that's true. We've been accepted into the 5th cohort of Binance accelerator. We're also actually part of Berkeley accelerator, the blockchain accelerator, affiliated with Berkeley.
Nice.
And undergoing kind of both accelerations on two different and opposite parts of the world at the same time. I think when we talk to Binance and Berkeley, some of the things which got them inspired is that such a simple thing as a stable coin, which is producing yield, is of course kind of not the major or the biggest breakthrough idea. But they realized that a stable coin like this could actually be very helpful for many people in very specific use cases beyond just putting money in your wallet. So they realized, for example, that a stable coin like this is really improving the capital efficiency of trading pools, or like Uniswap pools, or any other pools for that matter. Imagine, you provide a pool with USDC and USDT, or USDC and Ethereum. There, suddenly you have all your USDC, which is sleeping, not producing yield. A pool like this will be producing fees, mostly, sometimes fees and rewards. When you introduce USD Plus into that pool, it's producing fees, rewards, and also the yield from USD Plus. So they realized that yield farming or trading actually with USD Plus would be more capital efficient, and they really liked that use case. Another use case they appreciated is so-called leveraged yield farming. What you can do, given that USD Plus is extremely, it's pegged to USDC, but it can be used as a means of collateral. So you can put it to a protocol like KDAO or MAI and get interest-free loans for it. That interest-free loans can be then used to mint more USD Plus, put it in the vault, get leverage, more interest-free leverage, and do this up to 9 times. People tend to be afraid of a high leverage of the, in particular, crypto assets because of the volatility and because they are afraid of liquidation. But with USD Plus, it's always pegged to USDC, so there is more or less no risk of liquidation, and you can maintain this high leverage and get very, very, very high yields. So when they realized that there was idle money which should not be sleeping not just in your wallet, but also in IMMs and in the vaults of guys like KDAO or Maker for that matter, they thought it's an interesting new idea to explore and wanted us to join their acceleration program.
Awesome. So, gosh, it sounds like you guys are really busy right now, and I would imagine you guys have quite a lot planned for 2022. Could you go over your roadmap for us? Give us some insight as to what you guys hope to accomplish this year.
Yeah, so first, liquidity pools with QuickSwap. We're going to launch ETH USD Plus pool on QuickSwap on Polygon, Matic USD Plus, but also USDC USD Plus. And we'll start kind of seeing how USD Plus is holding the pack and how much trading and how much yield those pools are generating. So based on that, we'll also offer a reward program. So those who will invest into those pools will be able to lock their LP tokens on overnight LTFi and start receiving pre-OVM tokens, which will give the right to participation on favorable conditions in our ICO IDO, which is also expected this year. So essentially launching new pools, then we're going to introduce a reward program, and then we are going to introduce the vaults for the leveraged yield farming, as I explained. And these are going to be our major kind of objectives on Polygon. Beyond that, we are going to expand to Phantom,
Nice.
probably Avalanche, and a number of other blockchains, which we need still to decide kind of the right order, but probably Arbitrum will be there, probably Optimus will be there, and eventually we'll also go to the mainnet. Right before we go to the mainnet, we're planning ICO IDO, and so we plan to issue our governance token, and with that token actually we'll reinforce our reward program to a new degree to offer attractive yields for our for USD Plus holders.
Nice. Well, that's cool to hear you guys are going to be branching out and going multi-chain. I think that is, that's the future of the industry. And that's what we do. So we're happy to be working with Overnight, and we hope to be able to help you guys pursue your multi-chain goals. Can you give our listeners today kind of an insight into what you think of Rubic and what we're able to help you guys with?
Oh, Rubik is amazing. What we found is that a lot of people really like our product, but a lot of people, on other chains primarily, other than Polygon, appreciate it, and a lot of people who come kind of from fiat space and only know Ethereum more or less, and that's about it. Something like USD Plus is only possible on a level 2 blockchain, or kind of like low gas, low cost blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our target audience really finds it very hard to access USD Plus because typically until recently you had to bridge the money to Polygon, convert it into USDC, mint, and so a lot of first-time users will find it very difficult. Now we have integrated Rubik into our UI. First of all, the widget, and soon I hope we will integrate also Rubik's SDK. And it is the process of minting USD Plus or minting away from USD Plus and getting your money from any chain into USD Plus back into another chain becomes very, very easy. So this is really solving one of the biggest problems our users have, and we are experiencing kind of the wow effect. People who really struggled in the past now find it easy and simple and kind of very easy solution to do that. So thumbs up to Rubik.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words. I mean, what our goal is to help projects like you succeed, right, in your multi-chain endeavors, and I think that is kind of the ethos of what we want to do at Rubik. We want to provide not just users but other projects out there empower them with the ability to operate in a multi-chain environment, blockchain agnostic, and just really focus on what they're trying to do. So I'm very happy that we're partnering together, and I look forward to a really successful future with each other.
Yes, me too. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So with all that said, and everything you guys are trying to do, the problem you guys are trying to address, which is a huge problem, right? I mean, that's if people just have their money, their stable coins just sitting doing nothing, that money could be used, like you were saying, as loans and leverage for other people, other projects out there. What is like the fully realized version for overnight? Like, at what point would you say to yourself, I've done it. I've set out what I've accomplished what I've set out to do. Like, what is that point for you? Where would the company need to be?
Yeah, when users kind of prefer USD Plus to USDC on a very wide scale, so kind of by default they think crypto dollar is not USDC, crypto dollar is USD Plus, because it's a dollar, but it also generates yield. So when USD Plus kind of exceeds or matches in emission the amount of USDT in circulation, I think then our vision has been realized, and we can kind of rest and think of something else.
Nice. Well, that is an ambitious goal, and I think it's important to reach as high as you can. I mean, what we would love to do ourselves here at Rubik is be one of the fundamental protocols for Web3, right? To like help facilitate multi-chain transfer of value of between different blockchain networks, any token for any token. I mean, that is our goal, to reach a global audience and become kind of a global brand. So I hear you on that, and I wish you guys the best success.
Thank you very much.
Now, with the crypto industry and the state that it's in right now, where do you see the future going? I mean, specifically DeFi and stable coins. Like, how do you see the entire industry evolving over the course of this decade? How does regulation play into that? And what do you guys plan to do to anticipate any of these kind of dramatic changes that may happen?
Yeah, I think regulation is certainly coming and is going to affect actually primarily the stablecoin space. Recently, European Commission published the draft regulation, and it had 4 chapters, 2 of them dedicated to stablecoins. So half of the regulation was about stablecoins, although at the moment stablecoins probably make only 10% of crypto market capitalization. And so what we expect regulators to do is actually look at some of the centralized stablecoins like Usdc, USDT, and regulate them like banks. And whoever else claims to be a simple stablecoin used for payments and linked back to an official currency is going to be regulated by like banks with capital, with ratios, with prudential or monitoring by the governments and regulators, and that is going to be not easy for many of the guys. USDC and Circle are already going that way and getting the banking license, but a lot of people will not be able to or will not want to get a banking license.
Yeah.
And so that will affect a lot of guys. The other type of stable coins is going to be what regulator calls asset reference stable coins. And those are stable coins which are stable because they are collateralized by assets which have value. So, for example, guys like MakerDAO with DAI will be considered reference-based stablecoin. They will not be required to do the banking license, but they will not be permitted to be deployed in fiat payments or like in the off-chain payments. And so we actually believe regulation is going to encourage, CDP stablecoins like DAI, MAI, and they will be very, very successful. USD Plus has also been fully collateralized, 100% collateralized stablecoin also from that direction, and I actually believe we're going to benefit a lot from the regulation. What is very much in vogue these days is algorithmic stablecoins like Terra, USD, and NEAR is actually rumored to be launching the stablecoin very soon. USM, and many others. So these guys are extremely popular these days, but we believe that the regulator is going to go very hard against those stablecoins and try to force all the guys who are doing senior rush model to provide assets behind those stablecoins. And that is going to be very interesting to see how those guys resist that. Because, let me tell you that regulator does not like the idea of the algorithmic stablecoins, deployed these days.
Yeah.
I think that also that is going to be the major change. What we know now as algorithmics is going to be hit by the regulator and going to fight the regulator like really crazy, and that is going to shape a lot the way DeFi is going to evolve.
Where do you see CBDCs kind of fitting into the mix with all of this? Like, do you think that there are going to be certain state governments that try and strong arm all the decentralized private stable coins out there, or?
No, I think they are going to go against the algorithmic stable coins.
Okay.
But whatever is like collateralized stable coins, they're going to allow and they're going to regulate very lightly. And they're essentially going to treat them like notes, debt notes issued by SPVs in the traditional finance sense. And this is going to be very light regulation, and these guys are going to really prosper from that and probably even take share away from algorithmics.
Wow. So you have a unique perspective on this, having already worked in traditional finance for banks. So what I mean, like, what time frame do you see for regulation? Is it coming in the next year? Do you think it's going to take a few more years for them to formulate like a better game plan, or how do you see that playing out in like what time frame?
Yeah, I think this is ongoing. Probably we'll see stable coin regulation this year or early next year for sure. A lot of that is actually because what we see is that, in particular, with the tension in the world and stuff like that, we see big intention of various states to move to payments in crypto, in stablecoins. So stablecoins are going to move into traditional payment space because decentralized payments between governments, actually, using crypto stablecoins, are going probably to become a norm. Moving money across countries in stable coins rather than in fiat is going to become the norm.
Yeah.
And so I believe these guys are very hard pressed already to put the regulation as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think we're seeing some dramatic changes and shifts in the global financial system with Russia kind of moving away from the SWIFT banking system and partnering with other nations around the world, primarily China, to create parallel, banking systems. It makes sense to me that, yeah, the entire world would end up moving towards, this decentralized stablecoin model and using crypto for settlement versus the traditional financial avenues that we have today.
Yeah, to better or to worse, but indeed, that's when the vision. What's the vision when USD Plus is done? And actually, I think I gave the wrong answer. I said when USD Plus overtakes USDC. I think when actually USD Plus overtakes the US dollar, the fiat dollar, then we're probably done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a huge fan of history and math and just looking at the current fiat monetary system, it just doesn't seem sustainable. It doesn't seem sustainable for much longer. Just with the massive amount of money that we've printed in a very short period of time, M1, M2 money stock have just exploded. So much so, I think they stopped tracking and recording it. So I think we're in for some volatile times ahead in the traditional fiat currency monetary system. And again, though, that's going to be a huge push towards crypto, which in my opinion is absolutely going to be the future of finance. It's the natural progression and evolution of accounting, right? Like distributed ledger technology itself is the next technological information and finance revolution. Everyone just refers to it as blockchain, but really it's an open ledger that everyone has a copy of that is like the real game changer and the thing that is going to restructure everything. I mean, the entire financial system globally. So it's.
I think you're right. I mean, the word fiat essentially means faith, right? Trust in the financial system, and unfortunately, there is less and less trust in international affairs, and surprisingly, those who are anti-crypto until very recently, essentially the governments and regulators, are going to realize that they can benefit a lot from the trustless financial system, not fiat, but trustless financial system in this new world. That's actually going to allow people to continue, trading and prospering and enjoying the global trade and global investments in the world where there is little trust. So, I'm very hopeful for stable coins being a big part of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they will be. I absolutely think they will be. And I think that, what you guys are doing is addressing an issue that's not being really talked about right now in a lot of circles, but would definitely, you know, at some point is going to be, you know, part of the narrative, right, for the industry. So kudos to you guys for getting in front of it so early. And, you know, again, I wish you guys the best of luck in your endeavors.
Thank you very much. Thanks for hosting us and inviting to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you'd like, Maxim, let's go ahead and take some questions here. I had somebody who had raised their hand earlier in our Twitter spaces. Let me see if I have anybody in our Telegram chat. If not, I'm going to go through the text. It doesn't look like we do. So I'm going to go through the text here of our Telegram channel and pick some of these questions that are being asked live. So let's see here. We'll go down the list. Some of these questions will be for me. I'll let you know, Maxim, when there is a question for you as well, okay? So we have a question here from David White. This one is for me. He asks, how many employees does the team have now? That's tough. We still have some team members that are kind of in a trial period right now, working with us. They've been on board for either a few weeks or a few months. I think officially we have close to 30 people on our team. That is, you know, the founders, the executives, our front end and back end developers, our business development team, strategic partnership team, as well as our marketing team. So about 30 in total, but that's kind of like a gray number just because, again, we have people on like a trial period with us. But yeah, we're very excited to continue growing, and we are happy with a lot of our new team members. They are carrying on the kind of company culture and the hard work ethic that this company embraces. Let's see here. Patrick Kruger asks, how do we gain Discord levels Rubik holdings? Head over to the Discord for more info. Let's see here. David White also asks, did Sphere drop the SDK? I don't know. I have not been in touch with the team over at Sphere. I don't know what the status is regarding ArcWidget or SDK with them. I would have to consult with the team and talk to the people that have been in communication with the Sphere team members to find that out. Okay, Maxim, here's a question for you. This comes from Patrick Kruger. He wants to know what the main benefits of yield-generating stablecoins are. And has it been done before? Like, do you have any competitors?
Yeah, the main benefit is essentially the yield. So instead of not getting yield, you are getting yield. So that's actually it. So USD Plus is pegged to USDC, so it's instantly immutable and redeemable against USDC. So you know it's always $1, and it's backed up by dollars. But on top of that, you are getting yield. And it has very interesting applications and benefits it's bringing. As I said, in your wallet, the balance just increases. If you like staking in INMs, like you like, being an LP in liquidity pools, with pools which contain USD Plus, you are much better off because you getting not only fees and rewards from the pool, but you are getting fees, rewards, and yield. As I also said, another use case for leveraged yield farming, you can, if you have spare cash, you can take USD Plus, put it in a vault, get interest-less loan from my or Maker or similar guys, and just enjoy leveraged yield without bothering yourself. So, as I said, capital efficiency and yield in some straightforward situations, but also very kind of DeFi-specific situations, is where yield generating coin kind of excels.
Awesome. Thank you for answering that for Patrick. Let's see what else we have here. Bobby Brown would like to know, this is a question for me here. Is there any update on an ETA for Telos integration? I don't have an ETA update for you guys for Telos. Do know that it is on the developer roadmap right now. It's on their list of things that they're working on. And we'll hopefully have more information to share with you guys very soon regarding that. But don't forget, we have Telos integration coming this coming Monday, April 25th. We will have that, and it will be the 12th blockchain in our ecosystem. Ash B, he asks me, with the huge influx of new team members, something huge must be coming, right? Yeah, there are some really cool things that I'm chomping at the bit to talk about, but due to non-disclosure agreements, due to marketing coordination, I can't talk about stuff. But yeah, there's some really cool things that we're working on internally right now. The last few team meetings where we've had a breakdown of kind of what's going on and any changes or internal pivots to optimize and kind of increase the speed with which we're able to develop and grow has me really excited. Like I'm more excited than I've ever been. I'm more bullish than I've ever been on Rubik. And you guys, a lot of you original community members know I've been with this project now for, at least 16 months. And working with them for over a year, and I mean, now is just, it's incredible. Like there's so many good things coming. I'm so excited. We are realizing our vision. I'll say that. Okay, there is a question here for you, Maxim. This comes from Patrick Kruger. Again, he asks, what was it like for overnight to work with the BNB incubation program, and what value did it provide?
That's a good question. We don't know yet. We only got accepted last week.
Okay, so not enough time yet for any feedback. Sorry, Patrick, but maybe we'll have you on again in the future, Maxim, so you can talk to us about that incubation program and give us some insight as to what kind of value that had for you guys, and you can kind of give us your experience with that, because I have to imagine it's really exciting working there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here. Bobby Brown asks me, gathering any data on the referral program, SDK widget, native chain breakdown. Yeah, I know the team has kind of been keeping an internal record and log of a lot of that information. I don't know if we have anyone that is parsing through it all and kind of organizing that data so we could release it kind of public facing. We give our update regarding how many individual links we have as part of that referral program and whatnot. And we announce companies that have been integrating our widget and integrating our SDK. I don't know if it's the best use of man hours to spend time kind of crunching the numbers on just analytics stuff like that. But as we start realizing a lot of the development stuff that the team is working on right now, there may be kind of lulls or downtime in the future where someone on the team may be able to put something together like that, but not a top priority. Oliver asks me, is the governance implementation still on track for Q2? As far as I know, yes, it is. And I don't have any additional information to share with you guys at this time, but as far as I understand, yes, it is. I'd be bad at this says, there is a lot of FUD on socials after the Sphere thing. A lot of it seems baseless, but do you think this might hurt us? No, I mean, look, in the long run, there is the whole, there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? I found it very refreshing, actually, to see that there was this Reddit post that was trending on the front page of r/cryptocurrency, the biggest crypto subreddit on Reddit. They've got millions of people, and we were trending as like a top post. Now, granted, the post itself was not a particularly beaming review of Rubic, but it was really refreshing to see hundreds of users in the comments section kind of explain to the original poster that the problem didn't really lie with Rubic, and a lot of people were like, "Hey, I've used it for months now, and I've traded $50,000 plus over their protocol, and I've never had any problems." And then you had other people jumping in that said, "Yeah, I've had like one or two issues before, but their team and their customer support rectified the situation and reimbursed me in full and made everything right." And so you saw a lot of that. That was 90 to 95% of the comments. So anybody who actually, had any type of dog in that fight, they were coming to the defense of Rubik and really highlighting, their experiences, their positive experiences. So no, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Again, any publicity is good publicity, right? Anything that gets people talking about us more, I think, is a good thing. Especially seeing how people kind of came to our defense. And I think you'll see that around the industry because we have over 45,000 users now. And, we have a very, very low fail rate on any transactions. And unfortunately, majority of the time it is kind of user error, but we are going to work on our end to improve our prompts, improve our notifications and warnings to users, and also help educate people so that they can better navigate DeFi, so that it works for them, and they don't feel lost, they don't feel confused or frustrated or anything like that. So we're taking it as a learning experience as well, and we're going to implement a lot of different changes to reflect everything that happened around that whole situation. Patrick Kruger asks, sorry to put you on the spot, but if the yield generating USD Plus is essentially just a better USDC, would Rubik consider using it for LP? I would absolutely imagine we would. I don't know. I'm not part of the Rubik team that makes those decisions, but that's definitely food for thought. So I will go ahead and I will make sure that we address it. And the team can take a look, see if it's something that we could do. Let's see here. Patrick asks, based on the recent Twitter survey, has the team decided what languages should the app and website be translated to? Will the community participate in the process of translation? I don't have any info pertaining to that right now. I do know that a few people in our community have reached out to us to offer language translation, and we have rewarded people as such. So we may do like a translation bounty or something here in the near future. So we'll let you guys know. Here's a question for you, Maxim. This comes from Oliver. He'd like to know what the size of the overnight team is.
12 people at the moment.
12 people, nice. Now
yeah, 6 developers, and the rest being business functions.
Nice. Now, I'll expand on his question. Where are you guys located? Are you guys all over the world?
Yeah, we're all over the world. I'm mostly based in Armenia. Some of the team is in Thailand, Georgia, Serbia, and Andre, who is present over here, is currently in California, but mostly based in Texas. So essentially, marketing and product team is in the US, and the rest of the team is in Eurasia, but kind of remote locations of Eurasia.
Nice. Nice. It sounds similar to kind of our team composition as well. We have our social media manager. He's another American like myself. And then we've got team members all over the world. So,
yeah.
Here's another question for you, Maxim. William wants to know, what are you guys doing differently so as to not incur the hammer of regulators?
Actually, the USD Plus is built to be compliant with the upcoming stablecoin regulation. And that's the beauty of it. As I pointed out earlier, the regulator is going to differentiate between various stablecoins. They're going to impose banking license requirements on guys like Usdc, USDT. They're going to go heavily against algorithmics. But guys like ourselves, guys like DAI, MAI, kind of CDPP stablecoins are going to be just fine. So the regulator likes the idea that a stablecoin can be backed up by real assets. And actually, we believe they're going to regulate these stablecoins the least because these things are the most comprehensible for the regulator. So we're very bullish on the regulation and think we're going to win from that in a major way.
Nice. Now, there's another question here from Georgetown. This kind of piggybacks on the question you just answered a little bit. He says, is USD Plus stablecoin from overnight backed with what collateral? Is it fully backed 100% by it? Is that cash or what is it?
Yeah, it's backed 100% or more at any point in time, but it's backed by yield-generating strategies. So things like Aave, USDC, things like Impermax investments, things like stable-to-stable pools like on Curve or on Dodo. There are very good actually yields on Polygon and Dodo. There is this great spin out from Gelato called Arrakis, and those guys kind of accept strategies, the Uniswap V3 NFTs, and pay out yield on that. I think that's the best yield, stable to stable coin LP yield on Polygon at the moment, and so we also invest into those. So any strategy which carries no impermanent loss risk, but generates yield, and we can redeem without fees on call at any point in time from a reputable protocol, fully audited and reviewed by our engineers, can theoretically be backing up USD Plus. But mostly and foremostly, the idea that these are the least risky yield-generating strategies across DeFi, which are backing it up.
Cool. Great answer.
Have I answered the question?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So I've got a question here from Coleman. He wants to know, is Rubik planning on utilizing overnight finance in the near future? Again, that would be a question for somebody else on the team. I don't know, but I'm sure that we'll have many more conversation with Maxim in the future, and we look forward to a mutually beneficial relationship for sure. So.
Yeah, we look forward to integrating Rubik, first of all, so that the community can access USD Plus from any chain. So from that point of view, I think it's going to become much easier for everyone to be investing into and using USD Plus. And if there's further cooperation on liquidity mining, interested. We've been actually discussing with a number of bridges, in particular the Rainbow blowing USD Plus for cross-chain transfers. I think the idea there is interesting. When you transfer USDC, for example, from from Ethereum to Aurora, or probably cannot do this, but from Ethereum to Polygon, you transfer USDC. This USDC gets stuck in a bridge, and it's stuck in a bridge, creating a lot of risks, but not earning any money. It generated the fee one time, but the longer your USDC is in the bridge, the more you have the risk. And we thought that actually it would be much better if instead of USDC, there was USD plus in the bridge. Because then the dollar, which would be in the bridge, would not be just generating the risk of being hacked, but would also be generating return for the bridge and actually help it kind of build more secure infrastructure, insure itself, and those things like that. And so we believe actually there is, important potential cooperation with guys like Rubik on this, liquidity mining by the bridge, if you wish.
Nice. All right. Thank you for that, Maxim. I've got a question here. It's from Bobby Brown. This one's for me. Do I have any update on the BTC integration? I do not. I do not have anything I can share with you guys at this point in time, but it is on the developers' roadmap right now, and we hopefully will be able to announce more information regarding that very soon. Larry asks, this one's for me. Will Rubik consider exploring other stablecoins other than USDC? Yeah, we absolutely will. Again, we're constantly reevaluating the changing landscape in DeFi, and making the necessary adjustments internally, recognizing what our competitors are doing, recognizing what we excel at and what we're capable of doing in the timeframes that we set for ourselves, and kind of prioritizing that in the way that we think would best benefit our users and the overall growth and eventual adoption of the Rubik multi-chain protocol. So yes, we're always considering a lot of things, and more than just stablecoins. And again, we'll have more info for you guys soon. There's a lot of really, really exciting things that our developers are working on right now. All right. I think that is pretty much going to do it for questions. We may have one or two more stragglers coming in here at the very end, and I'll make sure I get their questions. But before I do want to announce that we are going to do a $50 worth of BRBC giveaway for anybody who asked a question today. Now, Maxim, I know you guys held a competition as well for this. You guys put it up on Twitter. Do you have a winner that you would like to announce right now for our Twitter audience listening?
Well, Patrick has done really, really well. Thank you for all the, well thought out questions, quite deep, and give us the opportunity to better present USD Plus. So, Patrick, you are the winner from our side.
Oh, Patrick Kruger. Congratulations, man. He has been, Patrick has been a fantastic participant in our AMAs for week in, week out for months and months and months, and he has yet to win. So I know he is going to be very excited to find out that he just won. Patrick, yes, you did it. You won.
And do you want to say again?
So with that said, we do have another question here. Daniel asks, would swapping NFTs be a thing for Rubik? That's a great question. It is something that we've been keeping our eye on, and I look forward to sharing some more information with you guys regarding NFTs and Rubik in the near future. I don't know exactly, no ETA on any type of announcement from me. But again, we have been keeping our eye on NFTs and NFT marketplaces. And I hope to be able to talk to you guys at great length about that kind of stuff very, very soon. Hillmark asks, in what chain are we expected to provide USDC since we are providing RBC and BSC? You'll find all those details in the Medium article. I'll kind of like review your question with you in a DM after the fact. We can go over more minutia. All right. We have one more question here, and then I'll go ahead and I'll pick a winner from our side. I'd be bad at this. Asked 1 or 2 weeks ago, I think you said NFTs will take a backseat in regards to the rest of the roadmap. Am I misremembering, or has it changed? I'm trying to remember exactly what I said. I don't know if I alluded to that at all. I will say that we are talking internally about NFTs, and I'm not going to say much more than that, but it is something that we are investigating on the development side of things. And we think that there is a future for NFTs and kind of tokenized assets and that whole market. So it would be really cool. Like I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think what I said was it would be really cool to be able to take a token on any network and buy an NFT on any other network. I believe that's what I said. So I still stand by that statement. I think having the option to purchase any type of crypto in a blockchain agnostic way is key to a multi-chain future and the key to widespread adoption of Web3. So I will leave it at that. All right. I think that is basically going to do it. Oh, I got one more here from Bush. He said, as the volume of the trades increase, will the liquidity provision APR increase or the number of providers will increase? Yeah, absolutely it would. So if we see a larger uptick in trade volume, then I would imagine, yes, the APR for LP will increase. It is the 27% estimate is just based off of current volume trends. So yes, if we see a spike in volume, I would imagine the APR for that would go up. All right. So I am going to take some of these names here from our Telegram chat. And I'm going to put them in our randomizer, and I'm going to go ahead and pick our winner of $50 worth of BRBC for today. Sure I get everyone here. Okay, congratulations. We have a new winner. It looks like David White. You are our winner today. So go ahead and shoot me a DM after the show, and we will go ahead and hook you up with $50 worth of BRBC. Congratulations to David White. All right. Oh, thank you all for listening today. We're coming on 75 minutes now, so I do want to thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure having Maxim Ermolov on the show today. So thank you, Maxim, for your time. Again, he is the co-founder and CEO of Overnight. So thank you very much, Maxim.
Thank you, Colin. And thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Absolutely. I look forward to having you on again in the future as you guys grow and continue to add USD Plus on multiple blockchain networks. I'd love to have you back on to talk about how that's going. And again, also give us some insight maybe into how that Binance Accelerator went.
Yeah, with pleasure. Thank you very much.
Very welcome. Very welcome. Well, guys, here at Rubik, we sincerely appreciate the support we receive from our community. We can't hope to succeed without your support. So on behalf of everyone at Rubik, I want to sincerely thank you all so very much for participating in our community and for also, participating in the AMA and for giving us your time as well. So thank you for sharing your time with us. And thank you for being here in our AMAs. Please join us every Friday. We go over our weekly report, and I hope to have some more guests on in the future, just like we had Maxim on today. So thank you guys so very much. And that is going to do it for another episode of Rubic Weekly Chat. I have been your host, Colin O'Brien. Thank you all so very much for stopping by. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and most importantly, stay cubic. Take care, everyone.